tell you what happens when this morning has been like Russia launched one of the most bad attacks on the Ukrainian electricity infrastructure. I think, you know what, before we react, I'm gonna seize the moment because we still don't have electricity. So I'm gonna talk about it since I'm here in the darkness, and it's a great opportunity for me to speak about how this morning Russia has launched this huge ass attack on the Ukrainian electric grid. And as you can see, Russia attacking Ukrainian electricity affects people because, well, I don't have electricity. I am connected to an EcoFlow battery, which will probably last me for some hours, but at some point I'm really hoping the electricity will come back. But right now we have the internet connected to the battery, we have the laptop connected to the battery, so we can go on. But sunny then press day. True. Hello, welcome to the stream. Welcome. I'm so happy that you decided to heed the call. So I'm just gonna tell you this. Just this morning, Russia has launched this huge attack. I know that there's been air sirens. I know there have been air sirens. I've heard them, and I know there have been explosions in Kyiv recently. Apparently, Russia has launched like 93 missiles of different types, of varying types. 80 something of them were shot down. It's somewhere. It is somewhere in here. The exact data on the numbers. 93 launched. How many of them were shot down? 81. 81. So 12 missiles went through. And it was all over the place. The entirety of Ukraine was attacked. Like even the West, which is not that often that the West gets attacked. Like the Lviv region and other places like that. Poland, of course. Poland has, as always, very performatively took its jets to the skies to patrol. As always, it always happens when Russia launches a huge attack on Ukraine, a huge missile attack. But also I believe, apart from the missiles, Russia has launched about 200 drones. It has to be saying it somewhere around here, the 200 drones. Let me see. And it just shows us, here we go. Russia had launched a large-scale aerial attack against Ukraine's energy infrastructure on December 13th. That would be today. Firing around 290 missiles and drones across multiple regions. So it's about 200 drones being sent against Ukraine. Some people speculate that Russia is just trying to exhaust Ukraine's anti-air before an even more major attack, but we'll see. Today's attack was pretty major in itself. Energy facilities were targeted in Lviv Oblast, according to regional authorities. Apparently, super big damage was not done, but let's take into consideration that the Ukrainian energy infrastructure is already pretty damaged. It's already is in dire straits, and this results in a more and more frequent blackouts. I have no electricity several times per day now. My day looks like this. No electricity, battery. When the electricity returns for a bit, I quickly scramble to charge the battery, plug it in, wait till it's 100%, unplug it, put it in place. The battery is ready, is waiting for another blackout. Blackout comes, I connect the laptop and the internet to the battery, rinse and repeat. Thank God the battery is here, because if I had no battery here, if there was no this sort of big power bank, I'd be in trouble. A lot of Ukrainians actually rely on those either quieter batteries that you use at home or those huge power generators that use gasoline. You actually cannot use them indoors, probably because of the noise, but a lot of the stores, a lot of the businesses rely on those energy generators. And bigger stores have these huge caged-in energy generators. It's a very interesting thing to behold, especially since the moment electricity goes out, you can sort of you can hear engines starting. You can hear the noise of the engines from outside the window because people turn on their energy generators. It's a very specific thing. It's a very interesting thing. And of course, Russia is now trying to destroy the energy grid of Ukraine even more so that there would be even more blackouts, so that people would have trouble with heating. In which cases, in some regions of Ukraine, if there would be no electricity, no heating, that would probably force people to move outright. That would create either internal displacement, or in some cases, it would probably even force people to move out of the country, which is basically Russia's goal, to create this sort of chaotic situation in which people either have to be internally displaced or leave the country, probably to Poland or other countries like of the sort, or they just want Ukrainians to freeze. So that's the situation with the energy grid. It's pretty bad, I would say. It's not good. I think I'm making my point clear by making this segment as there's no electricity here. Or maybe Russia's making its point. A big percentage of the electricity grid in Ukraine is pretty much wrecked now. Apparently after today's attack though, there were no casualties, which is good. And the critical infrastructure facilities are operating normally, which I'm not even sure what that means, considering that a huge amount of the electric grid is just destroyed and we have frequent blackouts. In fact, it says here that earlier in the morning, officials said that half of the region's residents were without power due to emergency shutdowns in the Lviv Oblast. So it's just getting worse with the electricity. 2 people, employees of a civilian enterprise, were injured in the village of Mern in Kharkiv Oblast. Governor Oleg Sinyehubov reported initially the number of injuries later rose to 4. I already talked about the Polish Air Force that scrambled its jets to the air. It's a standard procedure for Poland. Poland should be shooting down missiles and drones instead of just scrambling its jets. That's my opinion. This is my big criticism of Poland in all of this. That it does not shoot down the missiles as it targets Ukrainian critical infrastructure. I'm never going to stop criticizing Poland for not doing this. Even though technically speaking, Poland keeps saying that it needs NATO's permission because it's a joint decision and NATO does not seem to want to give that permission. But I'm still gonna be angry about it, no matter what. At NATO, at Poland, I'm gonna be angry at the collective West just to be safe. This is a good quote. This is Russian President Vladimir Putin's peace plan, destroying everything. This is how he wants to negotiate, by terrorizing millions of people, Zelensky said. And he's right. He's right. Vladimir Putin does not want a peace or a just peace. He wants something that he can present to his oligarchs as a win. That is what he wants. And then preferably he'd like to revive the conflict a couple of years down the line. That is the reality of the situation. The last thing that he wants is a just peace. That would be basically a loss for him. A just peace would be a failure on his part. And of course, Oleg is putting enough money to believe in impunity. A strong reaction from the world is needed, a massive strike, a massive reaction, which, I'm gonna be honest, I'm very skeptical if that will happen. Although new sanctions have been apparently agreed upon in order to combat the so-called shadow fleets, which transport Russian oil, which avoid the sanctions. Gosh, I think that's a segment. I think we've done well. Did we do well? What do you think? Coconut Island citizen or other people that are still here. I told you, we're here for the depressive politics today. What do you think? Pasa shock. What do you think of this whole thing? What is your opinion? Do you have any thoughts? Anything you'd like to share with me? Hold on. No thoughts from anybody? We're gonna move on then. We are in MO arc. In what? In an emotional arc? Are we in an emo arc? We're gonna react to a video. I'm curious about it. And then we're gonna move on to more depressive politics. Maybe I will talk a bit about that CEO guy that was killed. I feel like this is quite a big topic for Americans right now. So I probably should run the Merry Girl free PO. I'm sad. I wish they would stop killing and hurting people. Well, that's not really the Russian MO, so I'm afraid that might, it's not really the Russian MO. All things considered, all the